what do you think the lady is standing? What she could be. Okay, and I'm going to add in a new connection, and I'll try to tell my colleagues that when they come and they start, say a little something, because culture is supposed to be interlinked. And we are supposed to relate, like if it's religion should be related to all 8 cultural subjects, and it should be related to all other 5 Montessori subjects. So she is going to start with music, but music and religion, does it have any connection? That's the way we will follow. The connection, make a chain.
What I had in my mind will start with religion.
Oh, how beautiful.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Wake up.
The game is look for the traces of white if you can see any. Advised to do so. And that's the spirit you have to have. Okay.
Music. But before as Rahmanji was just saying, relate with religion. And exactly that was what I had in my mind. Because when you talk about music, I'm very sorry to say, when you talk about music, people say, music? No, not at all. Music has nothing to do with Islam. And in the news type these days, OMG, music? No way. Now what happened? There was a very, very wealthy man who was very fond of delivering azan. Very fond of delivering azan. And azan, as you know, should be very pleasant to the ear, right? But unfortunately, he had very bad voice quality. And his azan was not worth listening. But because he had this thing, he was very wealthy, so no one had the guts to tell him, sir, please stop giving azan, because this is not, your azan is not good. People just stayed quiet. And he took the liberty of his money and everything, and he made sure to give azan whenever he wanted, at the specific time. But whichever mosque he went to, I want to give the azan, and the muezzin would step aside. One day he was giving the azan, I think it is in where, I don't remember the name of that country. One day he was giving the azan, and after the azan, a priest came to him and brought a big packet of box of sweets and said, please have this. I said, why? Why do you want to give me these sweets, these mithai? Why do you want to give it to me? And this is for you, especially as a token of thanks, as a token of gratitude. And he was confused. What gratitude? What token of thanks? Why are you giving me? He said, sir, actually, I have a daughter. And just few days back, in Hinduism, what are there? What do you call the bhajan? And Hindus are blessed with beautiful voice, because it is there in the religion to be good in music. So Islam also, I am not talking about that one should be practicing with the sitar and the guitar and the proper musical learning. I am talking that music is necessary, but not all the time in that concept that we say that one should be able to sing very nicely, but a proper rhythm. What is music? It is a combination of sound which is pleasant to the ears. How are they soft spoken? I'm not talking about myself, sorry. Naturally soft spoken. People who in their environment have a soft, and people who in their environment have this loud pitch, high voice, high volume, they tend to talk like that. Occasionally we went there, but her bhabhi is very loud speaking, very loud talking, and no musical tie to the voice. Because why? Because she lived in Bus Road, and on the flat which was there was in the commercial area where you could hear the buses and everything, so definitely they had to speak loud to hear each other. So she got habitual of speaking in a loud voice. And what happened, the husband is very soft spoken and he was into deep sleep, sleeping very peacefully. क्या हुआ? But she could not even realize that your voice was far higher than the child's voice. होगा वो पुकारेंगे बुलाएंगे जिन्हें हम भूल बैठे थे, पुकारेंगे बुलाएंगे जिन्हें हम भूल बैठे थे, मगर तब कौन आएगा, मगर तब कौन आएगा, किसे फुर्सत मिलेगी ये, मगर तब कौन आएगा, किसे फुर्सत मिलेगी ये, हमारा हाल सुनने की, हमारा दर्द सहने की. अभी है वक्त ठहर जाओ, अभी है वक्त ठहर जाओ, अभी लम्हे हैं कब्जे में, अभी घड़ियां तुम्हारी हैं, अभी घड़ियां हमारी हैं, अभी घड़ियां तुम्हारी हैं, अभी घड़ियां हमारी हैं.
We are all talented to the best of our ability, but then there are some of us who are versatile. And Nusrat is one of those persons because she has a very good command in both languages, English, and then when it comes to Sher Shairi and the Urdu language, and that is, I'm impressed with you, ma'am. वो एंड में वो ग्रैंड फिनाले या we'll have the music team, ठीक है? So far so good. You had introduction to culture, then we started off with the first cultural, it's not in sequence but religion, and we moved on to music. Now you know what to do with children, and who knows exactly what to do when it comes to teaching the children art, inverted comma, art. Mrs. Alia Nusrat, it's good to have you. She was off the scene for a little while because she was not well. As you can see really that she has reduced a lot, but Alhamdulillah she is back to her stamina and energy, and we shall be enjoying you.
Thank you, Ma'am Anjum. I always please your this introduction. As far as me myself is concerned, I am a teacher also. You people are going to be directresses. Directress is also one kind of teacher. Teacher is in herself also. So if I say that I am a teacher, it is not so different from you people. Art, what is art? Art is something which you are going to express home environment. You can show your artistic nature through your dressing. So art cannot be taught by anyone. Every person is an artist inside. But when we talk about children, when we talk about Montessori environment, we should have take care of this element that the environment should be very balanced. It is not like that you are going to make everything very colorful, very bright, very expensive. No, you have to make the environment balance. Balance with which things? What we have in the environment, what are those things? I think you people have so many lectures. So what are those things we have in the shelves? What are those things called? Material. And I must tell you that in my personal own environment, in the classroom, only in my class I have the Montessori material, and every child only want to go to that shelf and take the material. So that material is really a great masterpiece of art. So don't think about that you are going to make your children artists, so you are going to make a big art gallery for them. No. Once you have this thing that you give the child EPL exercises, then sensorial, then maths, language. So the child is now having that balance in his body, in his mind, in his soul. So then he become an artist. Art can be defined as a profession. Yes, art can be defined in three ways. You can say that one person is an artist and he is a very good speaker. One person is an artist, he is a very good painter. one person is artist and he is a very good performer. So art can be defined in so many ways. But when we talk about small children of feeling and expressions, whatever you feel, whatever your thoughts are, you are going to be transferred onto the page for others. The best art is this: the child creates something. So how you, and I think a good teacher is always a very busy teacher. So in my experience, I always make child, and it is a very good, real experience, that if you explain the things to the children, they are going to start making drawings of those pictures, those objects, and then when they come back to you, you ask them, you took their feedback, and then write it down. If the child, one of my student, he made a goat with a square body. I think if you all, some of you are also doing that teaching practice, you also notice this thing. And they make you a bit oval shape face. So what is this thing? Is there any real goat of that shape? They are their imagination, so we are not going to stop it. But when they bring it to you, you always ask them, what did you draw? What is this thing? Can you please describe it? So in this way, you are definitely going to understand what child is thinking about, what are his thinkings, and what he feel about the environment. Sometimes the children, they draw something and they start color every object with black. And this is a very sorrow part and the bad part, that child in my other environment, and that child had a very broken family. The father and mother were not living together, so that child always had that thing. Always think about a child's nature. Child's nature is to explore the world, to become an adult. Do not underestimate the feelings and imaginations of a child कि इसको तो कुछ नहीं पता, इसको तो मैं बस ये एक ड्रॉ कर रही हूँ एप्पल, इसी तरह से ये एक एप्पल ड्रॉ करे, इसको रेड कर दे और बस ये एप्पल हो गया, तो तभी ये एप्पल है. No, I would like to share you something. I read it in through a net book. If there was a boy and he was so happy, but when his mother admitted him to a school, one day he was so sad and he said to his mom that I am not going to go to that school. Mom asked why? Because everything is being asked to the teacher. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do the things what my teacher is telling to me. And this is the answer of 4-year-old child. The mother was so anxious and he went to the school and he asked the teacher. Teacher said, no, everything is very much okay and he is very good boy. But in art class, he becomes so naggy, so बहुत मुझे परेशान करता है और आर्ट रूम में तो जाना ही नहीं चाहता है. But when one day the mother tell, yes, because I never asked him, when he is drawing, I left him alone. He drew the things and he colored the things and he come to me and then he tell me a story about that picture. Then that day teacher give him the permission to do whatever you want to do. That day the child draw a scenery of a very big picture, and in that picture the apples were purple, the goat was red, the tree was purple and pink, and there were all the colors inside that picture. And the boy was happy, smiling, laughing, and then he said, this is the best school in the world. Here I can play, here I can play, here I can play. So this is what children think about art. Art is not a single period you are just spending with your students and ask them to draw something, to cut something. No, let them do their things with them, but definitely first you have to give the presentation. You have to show them, yes, this is what I made with this material. The material is on the table, now it's your turn to make something very good, very nice and presentable. Like washing painting brushes, washing paint dishes. Then think about sensorial. The whole set of materials is full of art, I must say. the size, the shape, the color, the dimensions, everything is there. I think when we work on my personal, love is some sensorial material. Maybe I have that's why I'm not that much sensible, because still I am learning from sensorial material. I love sensorial material. Every single piece is a piece of art. As far as color, shape, size, and you can see the monotonous thing, the decreasing in size, the increasing in size. So what is this thing? This is all art and art. Then we talk about which subject is left? Language. Through language, we can introduce famous artists. We can use the words which are going to be used in art period. We can, when we talk about collage, paper, colored paper, glue stick. Then Mani is asking, क्यों इतना कर रहे हो परेशान? ये सब क्या हो रहा है? No, I'm making it for my teacher. So this is what a real teacher will do for a child. You cannot make every child an artist. You cannot make every child a singer. No, it is quite impossible. But you can create this thing in a child, that the child will able to make objects, make environment presentable, beautiful, harmonious, balanced, colorful, bright, everything which completes one's life with happiness. Thank you.
That was lovely. Simply lovely, because if you become a Montessori directress and you become standstill and you change your profession and you end up being a principal, or you're in the management side, or you end up training teachers, and if you're not so much linked with the child, you will not be able to give a lecture like that Alia did, because whatever she spoke about from experience. The theory she knew, she put it to practical work, and it is the children who taught Dr. Mario Montessori, and it is the children who are teaching us. Lovely, Alia. I hope these ladies can take back this information and make art a part of life. And I usually like to ask the question, what is the first artwork you will give to the child when he enters the Montessori school? And so sadly enough, most of the time the answer is, ma'am, I'll give them something to color. The child can't even hold a pencil. Yeah, that's what, the child can't even hold a pencil. And also look out for the sad child and the happy child through the choice of his color. The children who have problem at home, they will go for the dull brown, black, grey, and a happy child will express his feeling through making all kinds of things, scribbles. And in fact, these days I'm sending a quotation. I'm not sending it to everyone, but the quotation is still going on, and it is dealing with art. And according to Dr. Maria Montessori, she says she prepares the two things separately first, that the child should be able to hold the instrument and he should be able to draw. And when he puts these two things together, he is directly prepared, and then his eyes are trained to take the impression from the environment, and he is given the freedom to express himself. Thank you, Ali. I really enjoyed it. Okay. Who is next? What is next? History. Okay. The tone, the mood changes. Religion, music, art, history. Somehow history gives you a very, like boring sort of thing. History. Let's see what happens. And how do we teach the small children to understand the past? For that, let's call upon Ma'am Nadia Salahuddin. You ready? 12, right? 110 and 2 units makes 12. So don't do that. If you have a list, you should know. And you should hand it over to me. Ma'am, please.
History. So you all go back when your parents were young. That is history for you? Yes. So history is, let's see what the definition says. History is the story of an old-time man or human race. It tells us about what has happened in the past, how people used to live, dress up, what was their food, their utensils, events, festivals, weapons, etc. Olden times. Right? Okay. It is commonly misunderstood that the child takes more interest in fantasy than in reality. The fact is that the horrifying glossary stories frightens and confuses the child because he is not visualizing those characters in his daily life and he wants to find out. Like mother says, okay, or the Spider-Man nowadays, the Batman nowadays, and the fairies and the Harry Potter and all that. These characters are not present in the environment. So the child finds out, the child wants to look for those characters, and when he doesn't find them, he gets upset and confused. Okay? While on contrary, he understands more if presented real things. This observation is due to his interest for real and concrete things rather than fantasy. Show him the concrete things. If you want your child to imagine, as Ma'am Nazra said, ask him to imagine America, ask him to imagine Saudi Arabia, yes, Masjid-e-Nabawi, the Hajj, and maybe his birthday, maybe moon, how moon looks like, because these places are present in the world, and maybe someday he can go and visit and see with his own eyes. So whatever he was imagining, there is a possibility for him to look and see and observe and explore for himself. Rather than telling him the stories about, like I said, Batman, Spider-Man, right? Okay. No, go back, bete. Go at the back. One more slide back. Okay. Make the child realize that the man can bring change. As the time passes, change occurs, and another important thing for him to know is that no matter how much we change, but the basic norms and values of being a human being cannot be changed. Make him realize that man can bring the changes. Nobody else. He can bring the change. We have passed our lives. We are 30, 40, 50. Our every step is taking us towards the death. Right? But the child is growing up. And if we give him the right opportunities, the right environment, obviously he will be a part to bring the change in the society. Man has the quality, the strength, and if he gets the opportunity, he can bring the change. Who bring changes in the fashion of the clothes? Who bring the changes in the recipes? We do. The hairstyles, the building structure, infrastructure of the buildings. Man is bringing the change. The long names, because previously in history, in those days, there used to be name of the complete sentence. Khalid bin Ali bin Walid bin so and so and so. A complete sentence was the name. So take it as a rhythmic name. Physically, mentally, spiritually, so that he becomes an active member of the society to bring. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is this on? Okay, so let me just review. Go back. Because whatever has been done right now since morning has already become history. Past, gone, but not forgotten. So, what was the first lecture? No. Introduction to. Then art. At university level, I mean, how could you teach the small children? But very well explained, and the purpose of the timeline of anything, it could be anything that went through the time phase, like the clock, how it started, what it is like. So that should be at a view when the child can see. But when you are comparing, you can have the Stone Age and the modern, so the child can see one thing, how people used to live then and how people are living now, as ma'am showed it to you. A very important and interesting part of history taught in the Montessori system. When you hear the subject history, there is a twin subject that is directly related. They are, you can't have the two separate, because somewhere, somehow, they are definitely interrelated. How they are interrelated? These are just brief lecture to wake you up and give you the knowledge about cultural subject. So we would like to call upon Mrs. Meher Javed to present some interesting facts and figures about how to teach geography in the Montessori environment. I'll ask. Stanley, are you going to?
Geography. Geography is very much deeply related to history, and it is also called two sides of a coin. History and geography are like two sides of a coin. We cannot separate it. History is the study of man from ancient time to modern times. And what is geography? Geography is the study of land. Whenever we are talking about any person, we always mention the place. Land comes in. And child is very much familiar with the surroundings at home, in the environment. Geography is called the phenomena of the distribution of land. So whenever you see any place, you will almost always realize what is the place looking like. Is it a flat place? Is it a hilly place? Is it seaside? In our city, it is much easier. You can show the child the land and the water by taking the child to the seaside. But otherwise, there are different ways of showing. You can show through molds, through maps, through the various displays of charts, your flashcards. We introduce these basic concepts to the child. And child is learning not only about the surroundings, but he is learning about the different cultures. And when you talk about the Montessori environment, the base is in the EPL exercises first. When child is doing of the mind, but when she saw the material again, all the things were coming back in a flash. So we should not feel that child is not remembering, he is not retaining. Child does have that knowledge. And whenever the need about the land is not only about the land and water formation, it is about the rotation of the earth. You will show day and night, you will tell the names of the days of the week, the months, the seasons. All this is geography, about the weather. And it is not done only through the material, but also you can use a lot of flashcards. You can act it out with the children. Different ways where the child will be affected. If you will be able to capture the interest of the child, he will be able to retain that longer. If you are interested in something, then you remember. If you are not interested, then it slips away from the mind. Language, you can use different flashcards, you can show the